So after discussing our different options, I think it makes sense for us to go with Normalize.css. So let's add it to our project. So let's create a new file in our project folder, and we'll call it Normalize.css. I'm going to open it in my editor, and I'll go back to the browser. I'll highlight and copy the entire code, and I'll paste it in the Normalize.css file. Now we can go back to our index.html file, and we're going to include it in here. So I'm going to copy our existing link tag, and I'm going to paste a new one in. And with Normalize, this is something that we want to do at the very beginning of our CSS, because it deals with basic HTML tags rather than any classes or other kind of selector. So I'll change the name of the file here to normalize.css. I'll save it. And if we go back to our browser and go back to our example page, I'm going to scroll up to the top and refresh. You could see a slight change as it reset the margin on the body to 0. Because we haven't dealt with our overall layout for our template yet, this is something that hasn't bothered us. In fact, the extra margin on the sides of the page have been kind of nice because we can get a little bit of white space between the elements that we're working with in the body. But we can easily add this in for testing if we'd like. Other than that, everything will look pretty much identical to the way it did before. But we do know that we can go back into our styles.css and remove this font family sans serif inside of our body tag, because we're setting it here in the normalize for, if we scroll back up to the top, the HTML tag, which is outside of our body tag right here. So I'll go back to our styles.css and I'll remove this line. I'll save it and jump back to the browser and refresh just to make sure. And it looks like everything's still sans serif.